Hello and welcome to 5-Minute Math. Today we are looking at the Algebra 1 concept of solving quadratic equations. This is standard A.8A in the great state of Texas, and we are using item number 42 off the Redesign Practice Online STAAR test. If you haven't done so already, please go ahead and take a moment to pause the video, work this problem out on your own, unpause it, and we will look at our answers together. So we're looking for the solutions to this quadratic equation. It looks a little bit strange simply because we have that 3x over on the right side. And so we need to make it look like standard form, right? So this is going to be ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, which means I need this over here. So we're going to add 3x to both sides. And it's going to look like this, x squared plus 3x minus 2 equals 0. Okay, so now we're good. So if we find our a, right, our a is going to equal 1, our b is going to equal 3, and our c is going to equal -2. All right, well, we've got a few options. We can complete the square, or we can use the quadratic equation. Let's start with the quadratic equation, right? So negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac, and that is over 2a, and if for some reason you forget that, remember that's on your reference materials here. It's down at the bottom here, quadratic. You see right there, that quadratic formula right at the bottom of the screen. So in case you're missing that, you just need to know your a, your b, and your c, which we already know. So our b is going to be 3, so it's -3. Plus or minus 3 squared, and then 4 times a is 1, and then c is -2. So it's going to end up making that a plus up there, and then 2 times 1. All right, so -3 plus or minus square root of 9, and then we've got a plus 8 over 2. Let's make that 8 rather than 18, so that's going to be -3 plus or minus 17. Now that's weird because typically you want that to be a perfect square. So I got a -3 plus or minus square root of 17 over 2. That's interesting. That's what it looks like right here. Okay, so that's what it looks like. I do see that on C, and really they don't want you to try to simplify square root of 17. So you know what? Let's try this. Let's try this -3. Let's make sure we have that here. -3 plus or minus square root of 17 over 2. So what we think it is, let's plug that into the calculator. Let's see what happens. So we're going to try plugging this in here. I'm going to first need to double the parentheses because I want a -3. I'm going to take a plus square root of 17. Right? Get out of that. Now I'm going to close that first parentheses because I want to take all of that and I want to divide it by 2. Close the second parentheses because I need to square all of that. And then I need a -2. Let's see what that equals. Okay, so that's going to be a -1.68465, so on and so forth. Okay, so we're going to do -3, and we're going to double that because we need to get a -3 plus the square root of 17 first. I need to click out of there, close that first parentheses, divide it by 2. Now we can close that second parentheses just so all of that is multiplied by -3. Take a look at what we've got. We've got this -1.68465. It's that same thing. So it works. That's the plus 17. We can assume that it's going to be the same for that -17, right? So our answer here is going to be this C. What makes it seem so strange is that you've got this plus or minus, and then you've got that square root of 17 that you never really simplified. But that's fine. Sometimes that's as simple as you can get, so don't let that distract you from the correct answer.